Just start with a brief introduction about yourself and your business idea.
Thanks for having us. I'm Ridhinil Roy, I'm the founder of Anytex. It's a startup accelerator based in Northeast India. We have been venturing this thing since early 2016, and it's been like 4 years for us roughly. We have worked with the startups, mostly MSMEs in the region, and covering all the 8 states in the region now. And we have expanded beyond that, but the services are limited to marketing, branding assistance, IT, finance, and legal. And meanwhile in the journey, we have figured out government support, and a lot of incubation centers have come up in the state now. So it makes the work more easier, and we look forward to helping the entrepreneurs in the longer term.
So whenever a new entrepreneur steps up into this industry, so everyone has that idea of making money and breaking profits. So, and towards stayed in Shillong for a very long time, a very short time, the one thing I've realized is the Northeast at large faces certain geographical disadvantages.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a bit separate from what you would call a main community, be it Delhi, be it Bombay, be it Bangalore, those regions. So, wouldn't you feel that if you spread your services to these geographies, it would be more profitable? So, the base of my question is what drives you to stay in the Northeast?
Absolutely. So, like when you start your venture because of a cause, so that's your mission statement, right? And the backbone of any business is obviously finances. So you have to get your finances straight. For us as an organization, we started for a cause. So the cause was very simple. When I was in Bangalore and I was judging hackathons back there, and then my friends who are from this region did not even know the basic terminologies of startup, hackathon, boot camp, you name it, lean startup methodology. They know nothing about that. The least that they knew at that moment, early 2016, was mostly about Startup India movement by the government of India. It was a huge push back then, and some of them were in engineering colleges. So Smart India Hackathon was introduced by Modi government, and then that was also a huge push towards driving them into entrepreneurship. But that's very limited access to entrepreneurship as such. We did not have big mentors from our region. Also, if we had mentors, we did not have the access to them. That was the first issue. So the first issue was to connect. The first problem statement was to connect the people under one roof. And although the region as a whole, the 8 states of Northeast India as a whole are very different from the other mainland India states because of the geographical terrain, density of the population, and
the
culture is very diverse and very different also from the other parts. But strangely enough, these 8 states share a very unique bond among themselves. And this was a problem which could be solved only by bringing people from the 8 states together under one platform. So although the problem was different from mainland India, the problem was very easy when we tried to solve it by bringing the 8 states together on one platform. That was the first goal. Second goal came up when we first identified the startups from the region. We started by identifying the people who are doing the startup in the region, who cannot be called as a startup. Basically idea-based ventures and all. Still thinking to don't have a product in the market, has nothing that we can assist with at that particular moment, right? And campus also were lacking in the ESL events and all those things. So there was not an ESL network in Northeast India too. Firstly, at an institutional level, we tried to reach out to the ESLs first. We tried to get a good amount of startups from the ESL directly, who were incubated by the campus itself. Secondly, we went domain wise. So if you see from Northeast angle, there are certain domains like agriculture. If you ask for tea, jute, timber, bamboo, right? And if you ask for IoT-based startups, a lot of the startups were very cloned from mainland India, so we didn't like that much. We went to all the other verticals that were there present, and we tried to identify the startups that were working in the region and who were not recognized. Once we recognized those startups in the domain, we then put them up on one platform. We started featuring them as a magazine would do in the region. And once people got to know about them, other entrepreneurs got to know about them. People became entrepreneurs because they registered their ventures. And once they registered venture, it was innovative, the model was unique, they got support. Some of those could also be pushed to get government grants. Because our region also has a separate ministry under Government of India. We have a donor ministry in the region. We have Netfee in Guwahati. After that, things rapidly changed, even for my company also. Like, we never wanted to bring entrepreneurs over here. We just wanted to influence an entrepreneurial wave in the region. That was our end goal, right? And early 2016, when we started, 2017, 2018, we were part of the influencing drive. We were a stakeholder in the Startup Assam policy of Government of Assam. We helped in that. We were the youngest stakeholders on board. After that, Manipur government announced a grant for the startups in the region. About 30-40 lakhs were sanctioned for that. Very soon enough, in Meghalaya, Prime Startup Incubator has been launched. In Sikkim, fair enough, Entrepreneurs Hub was done in 2017. We are part of that too. In Mizoram, Startup Kalwan was there. We have been a part of that too. So we have seen very closely the growth of the startup wave in the region. And I think still Mizoram, Tripura, these will be our core focuses for 2025, because these are the regions that need to be developed more and need to be connected with the other parts of Northeast. While Sikkim and Assam already have a advantage because of the location, but other states need to get the help from these states. And I am not doing in a government position, although I can definitely see it from their angle. It makes absolute sense for them now to leverage all the policies that had been there before. Now that there are registered startups, the funds can get sanctioned very easily, and then they can see the hard work yielding fruits right now. So right now is the perfect time, but the hard work is taking a lot of time.
So any ATEX platform you've created, you offering a plethora of services through this platform. So a personal fact about me, I come from a business community. I'm a Marwadi.
Okay.
So 95 to 99% of the people in the community come from business families.
Yes.
So when they set up businesses, they have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
They figure out where the office will be. Business starts. If I've worked with an e-commerce website selling jewelry, that they also did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They had the idea, they were already into jewelry. They set up the website, the business started. But so when you come from an engineering background, you know what an MVP is, you know agile method, you know waterfall method, you know type A, type B testing. You can launch a beta version. So how do you think entrepreneurs should pursue? Now, so this is again a question. Now, so what is the correct way? Should you follow your gut, your passion, your experience, so how do you find the balance between knowing where to take a decision and then all depending on these models and making changes? So how does it happen?
So coming to your question, but before that, I think I have not answered the first question which you asked. Obviously we're helping Northeast, that's a cause, but how are we running, right? So I think that was also part of the question. Like if you are from a Marwari background, the dhanda, the so-called term called dhanda, is the first initial implier, and for us, the dhanda part has come from a very different background, right? So if there is a company like Tata, right? I was talking to them, to other people also. If there's a company like Tata, it's a big company, and they have a CSR arm to work alongside the company, right? So for us, the initiative itself was a CSR kind of a thing. It was a social impact thing, right? And there was no business model as such. When you can associate, if you want to help startups in the Northeast region, there need not be a business model around it because there's not enough money in it, to be very frank, right? And this only makes sense if you are a startup accelerator being in government. It's a government's work, right? It's not like Bangalore, Noida, Gurgaon, you can set up a startup private incubator and things will change over. It will take a lot of time. At least it will take a lot of time over here to change. So we knew very early days, this is not going to be our bread and butter for our enterprise to sustain. Now obviously when we started on the mission, even when I'm writing my own book also, the same domain, I'm writing my book called Starting Indie. So I'm writing in the same domain what initial challenges we faced. We didn't know what will be our business plan. We had a social impact thing in picture, but we didn't have a business plan. The best part was this: when we tried helping the other entrepreneurs, when we tried to make the pictorial representation or the infographics of government schemes, some corporate players liked our stuff. So they picked us up. They were like, if you can design a boring scheme into an interesting infographic just to help startups understand what the scheme looks like, maybe you can do a good job for the corporate end too. So our designers became, the big guys. Our coders became the big guys. We also took up a lot of legal support, legal tech startups on board to help companies accelerate and get registered. We became kind of, like assistant service provider. So we did help on one hand. We also help provide services on the other hand. So you can name it IT. So we have been handling a lot of consultation projects, not only for corporates, we have handled elections. Those are serious words, those are serious work, right? So it's a very serious responsibility on young shoulders. We have handled elections for national parties in Northeast India. So in Northeast India, not only entrepreneurs, even political parties, part of the government, now current cabinet ministers, part of the ecosystem, the corporate scenario which was there mostly in Assam and Sikkim region, they have taken our help. And we have got paid for that. Those are all paid services. And we are also trying to build more diverse products in the particular domain. Some of our services are not limited to geographical, for this region. So Starting is our mission. The mission is at our core heart. We are doing it every day. We are accelerating startups at zero cost. We are charging no commission from this. It's a cause that we believe in. If we stay in Northeast India, if we are born out of the particular cause, we need to do that. To keep running, if we need to sustain, we are having funds from our own consultation projects, you can call them gigs, you can call them projects, you can call them even contracts on certain cases. So we have taken such kind of diverse projects. This has been in politics, this has been in election handling, this has been in corporate rebranding also. Some projects have been in digital marketing too. And as we speak, I think more and more domains are coming up. So I think, yeah, with course of time we'll be evolving to the particular areas, and we also provide services, better services. And also coming to the baseline, baseline has always been for us like, it should be a make in Northeast India story, but made for the world. So we as a company, all our 15 employees, all the small and humble beginning that we have a responsibility that we want to be called as a proud company based out of Northeast India, which provides service to the entire world and not just the region. The region is a constraint for the problem solving, but it's going to be limited for some time. And there will be time when this problem will be solved. It's on the way. With time, we'll be venturing into other things as well. And we always have been doing that. So that's part of the dhanda thing which comes, And to your third question, like, how do you
So the balance between the taking decisions on gut and experience compared to the technology, the methodology which exists and we've learned about it. So
yeah.
how
So,
do
so,
you
so for me personally, this will be a very tricky question because it's a no-brainer for me, like in a certain way, because there have been decisions taken on gut, there has been decision taken on the capital and other consequences involved. But for us, we just tried to solve one problem at a time. So we had to compromise. There were projects involved which we didn't earn much, and we did that because impact was there. There were projects involved where impact was less, but we needed it to sustain. We have done that too. So I think it's related mostly to the occasions. I feel like as an entrepreneur, as I was speaking in the session, when you're an employer, you can blame to anyone. Like you did this thing wrong, you did that thing wrong, and the blame somewhat gets shifted. But as an entrepreneur, you cannot shift the blame. So even if we had made any mistake on that particular front while choosing, we might have been wrong a couple of times. But like Ratan Tata said, make a mistake and make sure it's right.
So you've been working in the Northeast. So you are from Northeast.
Yeah, from Guwahati basically.
So now big companies, big corporates have big CSR budgets.
Yes.
And as a motive of their CSR, be it their CSR, be it their brand image, they are trying to develop communities in a total way. Be it the Tatas, be it government. I won't go into political parties because that is a completely different
job.
I'll stick to corporates. Now, sir, when these companies come out with plans to develop these areas, and I want your opinion on this answer. So, do you feel these plans are realistic methods where the companies are spending? I'm not saying the companies aren't spending, but sir, the motive of this spending, is it truly community development or does it come on the lines of marketing as a game?
So the thing is like in the region, honestly speaking, from Northeast India perspective itself, we are a barrier-driven region, right? There are a lot of barriers that needs to be broken, right? Just to enter the market. So, firstly, when you talk about entrepreneurship and all, their startup market access should be there. You should be able to access the market so that you can test your product. You can do the A&B testing over there if you have the product on the market. The problem over here is not all the places, but most of the places, market access is not there. There are too many market barriers, right? And if there are so many market barriers, competition although less, it's very head-on competition. So it's very bad that way, right? If you see from other perspective, competition breeds innovation. But over here, I haven't seen such innovative things coming out of competition. Your competition was a necessity more of, right? So for certain big companies with huge plethora of funds, maybe this is a good entry, to entry the market. This is a good barrier check. That way you can take it. I will say that it's marketing gimmick because anyone, not even just entrepreneur, even if a musician from Northeast India wants to sing a song, he goes through his own struggle. He's on her own struggle. And this is a very different domain because internet penetration is also very less. So we have our own share of issues, right? Political conflicts are there always, and there is this lot of tribes, rich culture, but then needs to be organized under one, right? So that is not there. The uniformity is not there. I think that's the beauty somewhere too. Because when I visit all these places, I feel the difference, and the difference is the beauty. That also is there. But from a company standpoint, right? When someone invests even ₹1 into Northeast India, so the unit economics of the ₹1, how much they are spending for operations, how much they are spending for marketing gimmick, how much they are spending for marketing, and how much they are spending to make that thing work is a struggle on its own. not for the company but for the coordinators who are on ground. Because to make things work on ground, it requires the volunteers. So for community-driven organizations like ours, like as I said to you in the seminar too, we mostly didn't have any employees when we started, right? So initially it was a volunteer-driven campaign. It was more of a campaign. It became an organization. It became a company afterwards. But it was mostly volunteer-driven. And volunteers and employees are very different mindset, right? So when things are volunteer-driven, things get easily done because it comes out of passion. When employee comes in the picture, it's a lot of different mindset, right? There is payrolls involved, there is other stuff, there is training and all those things. But even for big companies, like as you have taken the name of Tata and all, even if you're considering Tata as well, I have seen some of their organizations, I have seen some of their works in rural sector, and the work that they are doing in this region is incredible. I think only few MNC of such stature can do such things in our region and can take the risk. They have the guts to take the risk, and I think in a way, although being an MNC, they have worked like a startup.
So the last thing,
Yeah.
so we're going to be spreading this video across all platforms.
Sure.
So do you have a message or something you would like to say specifically to the entrepreneurs of the Northeast? So
Yeah.
because this is the main geography you're working in.
Yeah, so for me, the person is the main geography, but for other entrepreneurs as such, like
Anything.
anything. Yeah, so my suggestion is like, my suggestion is not to listen to other suggestions. That's the first suggestion. Try to do things from your own mindset. Your problem is unique. Your solution needs to be unique too, and it differs case to case. There is not a book for it. You can read other case studies. You can learn from it. You can implement certain things from certain stuffs, right? You need not mimic a product completely. Currently, the trend in our country is like mimicking products. Too many clone products of same thing. So we should try stopping that. If we are talking about entrepreneurs in our country, because my country is the first priority. So even if the economy of the country is the priority, I think we should look at our neighbors, what they are doing, how they are doing it. The culture of incubators and accelerator is not just a taboo, and it needs to be taken more seriously by the students. I'm specifically saying students because I have seen the role from government and I have seen the role from institution it too. But it somewhere comes down to the students because obviously academics is there, curriculum is set already, and finding time for their own passion. To write a song, you need to take the time to write a song, right? If you need to do a startup, you need to take the time to write a B plan. So we need to take the tough calls whenever the time comes. And regardless of being in Northeast or being in any place, for Northeast I think might be a little bit tough, but then now is the right time. So better start early because there will be a lot of mistakes on the way. And if you meet anyone successful on the journey, on your entrepreneurial journey, try to learn from the mistakes rather than taking selfies and autographs, because that will really help you on the way. You want to save on money and time, and you want to save on the same mistakes which you don't want to make, which other has already done. So try to be smart and learn from other people. Network a lot. It comes down to people. Business is all about people, I feel. Even as a small organization, we have seen that in our own way. People are the most significant,
The
biggest asset of a company. We can call it a startup, we can call it a company, we can call it an IPO, but the vision are set by people. The drive is being done by people, right? So try to be good at people, try to hack people's mindset, try to work with them on such kind of things. Try to listen from people. There are a lot of criticism at the early stages, mostly in our sector. So try to learn from the criticism. What are they suggesting? What should not be the right way? What should be the right way? Try to learn from all the people, and I think it's a long way to go. And it becomes shorter only if you start. Otherwise, it's never getting shorter. The journey is never getting shorter. So better start early. That's what my suggestion is.
Thank you so much, sir.